Hey folks, how are you? Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands, AncestryLands.com. You might be asking me a few questions right now. Why does my beard look this way? Why do I look so handsome? And that simply is because I've obtained wisdom. First of all, in this video, I just want everybody to wish my grandmother, Lois Blow, a happy 90th birthday. Today, as I'm recording this video, my grandmother turned 90. She's still alive, still with us, still looking good, still looking healthy, which matters. Because you could be old or older, 90 years old as she is, and you could look like crap. You could. But she looks very much like she's not 90 years old. She looks very youthful, well taken care of. I'm just trying to get through this light here without getting killed or in a car accident. As you can see, I'm over by Drexel University today, Tuesday, June 11th, even though this video might come out much later. But it's still being with my grandmother, seeing her at her 90th birthday, seeing family come by, all the family members, and shout out to all my family members there. I always wondered, how do you look back on 90 years and assess the legacy of your family and children? Are you proud of what you created, what you left behind? I remember on our way to Virginia, which is where I'm originally from, where my grandmother and many of my family members still reside. As I'm down there, I remember driving by cemeteries, many cemeteries. And I always make sure that I tell my kids to look right or look left. The cemetery, which we drive by, are full of people who didn't get another day, said they were going to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow was never promised. They were going to write that book. They were going to make that video. They were going to sell that property. They were going to buy land from Ancestry Lands. And that day never came for them. Tomorrow never came. That idea that they had, that $1 million idea, which may have been created by someone else, that idea they never got a chance to do. That apology that they wanted to say to someone they cared about, it never came because they were never promised that tomorrow. I always remind my children that the cemetery is full of regrets, wants, wishes, things that were accomplished and things that weren't accomplished. The question is, what are you going to accomplish? And I make sure I tell them that so they understand the value of time and the value of wasting time and how much it does cost us in the end. Because as I talk to my grandmother and I look back as age sets in and you see the people around her that are her age are they're no more. There are not too many 90-year-olds walking around that she could call on and say, I grew up with this person's my friend. Even as she has a twin sister who is not with us anymore. That you know, again, as her twin, would be 90 today with her, celebrating with her, is no longer with us. Because again, tomorrow's never promised. Today is only given. That's why they call it a present, because it's a gift. And again, she didn't have time to say goodbye or tomorrow we'll talk again. None of those things happened because tomorrow was never given. And as my grandmother sees youth in front of her, she sees the people who have a tomorrow in front of her. She sees tomorrow always being maybe the last day, maybe the last time. Today may be the last time that she has a tomorrow in front of her. Or yesterday might have been the only yesterday she ever had, if you follow my meaning. So when I say that, I'm saying that for a reason, is that you have today as an opportunity, as a gift, to be able to take advantage of, to be able to act upon or build yourself up, because again, tomorrow may never come. And for many people even watching this video, tomorrow may never come. My tomorrow could possibly not come, but still, I must drop knowledge, I must create videos, I must give you inspiration and education at the same time to understand the value of your time. The value of pushing past your failures and not making excuses on why you cannot look for tomorrow if tomorrow is promised for you. Why can you not pick your boots up by your footstraps or your bootstraps and make something happen? Why is it that there is no tomorrow for you, even though you're going to wake up for another day? I put myself in my grandmother's shoes sometimes because, again, what you do today will build towards a tomorrow, even the things you don't do. You have children you don't educate, children you don't invest in, a marriage that you don't invest in, a woman that you don't talk to. All are missed opportunities to build a better tomorrow. But a lot of us are focused on whether we get the qualified outcome of our investment. We want a marriage that we know we won't end up in divorce. We want to worship God without with having the guarantee that we'll go into heaven. We want to work only so that way we know we're going to get paid very well. We go get a degree because we think there's going to be a lot of money at the end of that degree, even though the job market might say differently. We want the qualified outcomes without taking the faith or the investment, the faith in our investment, the faith in our choice. This is not a religious video. That you have the skills to be able to make the decision to move forward. And again, what we do is we hamstring ourselves, or we paralyze ourselves in indecisiveness and indecision itself, leading us to nowhere. And nothing is accomplished ultimately. Because we're still deciding, we're still guessing over whether we could be wrong or right, but we're only right in being wrong in the fact that nothing has been accomplished. We're wrong about failure because we're right that we've never even started, making failure not a possibility because we failed to even begin. Let me run that back for you because a lot of people may not be paying attention. We're wrong in the fact that we're right about failing, but we're wrong about failure because we failed already because we never began. We never tried to fail. We failed to launch. So there could be no possibility of an outcome being failure because it's non-existent. And we go through life this way and we leave our failures as an inheritance for our children and the generations coming after. I have the esteemed pleasure of knowing that when my grandmother looks at me, she looks at me as not a failure. She takes great pride and joy in hearing about the things that I do, that I accomplish. And she gets an even greater joy at seeing my wife and children as examples or outcomes of my success. Now, again, I could get divorced. I could, my children could turn out to be crack addicts later on in life. But again, for right now in her lifetime, I'm building upon success that should not equate to a failure as an outcome because I'm trying, I'm investing. And the memories that she has, that she's building upon, are things that look successful. My children skipping, me doing well in the land business, my wife, her great-grandson, which she just met after 2 years. Almost 2 years, he's like 20 months. And even though my son may not remember his great-grandmother, it's the history still there. The videos are still present. That you can never take away. Where when I was a child, I met my great-grandmother and I had a picture of her, not a picture of my time with her. Because again, she gets to see and leave this earth knowing she did some good, knowing she did something right, knowing that there's part or pieces of her legacy that will go on to do greater things. And again, I ask you all, what will you leave for your legacy? What will you build upon? And it's not just because she's my grandmother, it's because we have a relationship, a really personal relationship, not an inappropriate relationship that you got to say that because people are nasty and idiots. I'm talking about a relationship where I know my grandmother's story. I know who she is, where she came from, the story of her and how my grandfather met. And I understand without that meeting, without that unification, with that unity, my mother would have never been born. Henceforth, this channel would not even exist as it does in front of you. My children wouldn't exist. All those things need to happen in part, because there's my father's side of the story. Good or bad, right or wrong, It needed to happen in order to create my history. And again, when you look beyond your years, you got to start looking in front of you instead of what's behind you. And when I say that is that we all come from trauma in life. We all come from things that happen to us that we have hurt us. Things that happen to us that we disagree with, that we don't like doing. And most of the time, the people who love us the most have been the one that hurt us the most. And at some point, to my high level thinking people, you gotta look forward. Because when you're looking behind, you can't see what direction that you're steering, what direction you're headed towards. And the reason why I say this is because when you have children, you have a family, you have a wife, you have a husband, you have people who are depending on you to guide them down a certain way. And even if a woman is not the leader, she still is the co-leader in the fact that she has decisions, or her decisions can influence others. And if you don't take that to understand what it actually means, the power that you hold, and you're looking behind at all the trauma that's behind you that's been in your past, how can you ever move forward? How can you focus on their outcomes when you're focused on your trauma? When you're focused on all the pain that is now psychological and emotional and is no longer a physical pain. And what do? You leave the pain for others that are innocent. Your wife is innocent in the trauma that was caused to you by your parents. Your husband is innocent in all the wrongdoings that were done to you, that mistakes made by your mother and your father, or the people in your life. Even your exes or boyfriends or ex-husbands, they're not to blame for the pain that was caused by someone else. And your children, who look at you as a light, as a beacon in their lives, because they know nothing else. They don't know you're wrong. They don't know that you're a mean person. They only see you as all good and all knowing because you are their parent. They don't understand that you're damaged. So you have an opportunity to be better than what was given to you. You have the opportunity to push past your past and look forward to your future and build a better house than the house that was built for you. You have an opportunity to let go of the pain and build something more beautiful than the pain that was caused to you. But it takes a person that's got to have some kind of power beyond the boss babe, the boss talk, the money, the glamour, and the glitz, to really build a person that can truly be blessed with happiness and inner peace. You got to take your pain and create peace. Because you got people looking to you. You're looking behind at your past while you're not looking right behind you at what you're passing. The people that are right behind you need you to look forward and let them know the dangers that are ahead. And you can't do it because you're too stuck on the past 5 turns back and how the person flipped you off 20 minutes back in your journey, which would equate to years back in your life, because you can't look forward. So again, when you fall, everybody falls. How can they be under your protection, your leadership, your guidance, if you're too busy worried about who hurt you 5-10 years ago, or who didn't agree with you, when you got an opportunity to get people right behind you on your team and have a stronger 5 than the weak 2 that you started with? Answer me that. But you can't do it. So what you do is you create the brokenness that you had, and you push it down by being jealous of the people in front of you. Because guess what they did? They decided to stop following you, and they decided to move past you and not look behind at you, still looking behind at your past. Someone's going to want a brighter future, but you have the opportunity to do it, but you keep failing because you won't look forward. You can be 40, 50, 30, 60 years old, still traumatized by your past, not realizing that you're given each day. When I'm around my grandmother, I never see a woman so bright, smiles so much, and finds me funny. She finds me funnier than my wife finds me. She sees my children, and she sees my sons look just like me as a baby. She sees history repeating itself, as you will see if you're old enough to live long enough. She sees that the future, her legacy as a matriarch will be carried on, and all the mistakes that she might have made, that my mother might have made, that my father might have made, will not factor in, at least in a negative way, to contribute to the downfall of my side of the family. Because I refuse to let that be the thing to destroy us all. This video is about forward motion. Forward movement. People will get hung up on something, and even when you interact with them, all they can do is talk about things that consume them. There's nothing about business. There's nothing about how was your day. There's nothing about building. There's nothing about growing, because they're consumed by this, what this other person is doing. What they're mad about now, that they have nothing to feed off but their own anger. And again, it turns on itself. It's you're eating your own flesh. And again, if you just drop that weight, that thing that you keep on carrying, complaining about how heavy it is, and get lighter in life, you could live a little bit. You could enjoy the sky. That's why I put the other half of the video. You see it on this side, because I want you to also see, as I travel, you'll see the seasons change. If you look back in a video I did where I'm driving back in December, or you did it when it was early fall, you'll see how things, they don't die, they go dormant and they grow again. You'll see videos where it's snowing, there'll be no leaves. Just a couple months ago, no leaves on these trees. None. And not everything is lush green. Because it's a season. And you have opportunity to have bountiful, plentiful in your life when you have people around you that they bring you this green, this life, this love in season. And when you get around people like that, you live in harmony, you live in happiness. But again, you got to drop the dead weight. I don't want to pontificate too long, but I want to reach out to all these people that are living in that trauma. They're still children inside themselves. They'll be 40, 50, 60 years old. Still, that child is still hurt. And again, they have not looked forward at all the people that are behind them. My grandmother's looking at now great-great-grandchildren. She actually has great-great-grandchildren. She's looking at great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren that love and adore her. She's got to look forward at some point, because there's not too much to look forward to. You're complaining about your past when you've got tomorrow to look forward to. Walk by a cemetery and look at all the people in that ground that do not have another tomorrow to look forward to. They don't have another chance to have a cold. They don't have another chance to be sick. They don't have another chance to be angry, nor happy, nor hungry, nor thirsty, nor sad, nor sleepy, because they're in eternal sleep. And again, when are you going to do something to change? When are you going to take the last opportunity to change? When are you going to do it? On your deathbed? When are you going to do it? When? You're going to do it when you have all the regret of no more regrets, but just the lasting regret. Is that how you want to go out? Because I don't. And what do you do when you're the person that you're always hurt by this trauma from someone else, doing it? You got to let them go. I've got a clear thing in my situation. When I got problems with people, I just cut them off. And my wife understands that now. She didn't understand why I did that because, again, either we got to have violence or I could just cut you off, and where the problem presumably is me and I'm the one causing all the problem, let time see if I'm still the problem, because I'm not complaining about them. They're complaining about me, which means I'm not the problem. Problem is them. I'm going to succeed and keep on going. My train is going to keep on leaving and keep on leaving. It's going to take the people who want to succeed. You see me at Great Wolf with people like Don Coombs and his family. I'm around people who want to build wealth, generate wealth. When you come to me, I'm going to tell you what you need to know. I've mentored people, giving them advice that they could see was good advice, not because it sounded good, because it turned out to be what I said it would be. And a lot of times it started with them moving forward. Stop worrying about the problem, start doing actions that you could see will fail. But again, you don't want to fail at trying through inaction. Don't fail at inaction, fail through action. Because I was watching Megamind, the movie Megamind, last night with my children, and I got something great that I learned from that. He says, yeah, every time the Megamind character, he said, every time you've always failed. And Megamind turned to the guy, I think Titan was his name, and he said, yeah, the thing about failure is that you learn from experience. So again, people stay on inaction because they don't want to fail. They're too scared to fail, and they've learned nothing but to train themselves. Their experience is to continue to be inactive. They learn to always stop, don't even attempt to fail, because I'm going to consistently win and succeed. My action is inaction. That is my action. They're not going to fail and learn like I've done, like writing a book. And, you know, again, I've learned, I got an editor. She went back and said, this got to be done over. That's a failure. I've learned how to write that better. You got to do this. You got to do that. That's what an editor does. She basically says, everything you've written, here's what you got to correct, which means that these are things that are failure in being perfect. They cannot be printed. And through that process, in that book that I've written, Getting Dollars from Dirt, A Beginner's Guide to Vacant Land Investing, through that process of 6 months of going back and forth with someone telling you that what you wrote is not the correct way of saying it, or can you elaborate? Can you expound on ideas? Can you try and try again to fail in order to learn how to become better? And what do we have nowadays? We have my book, Getting Dollars from Dirt, A Beginner's Guide to Vacant Land Investing, on Amazon for about 20 bucks that you can go get right now, 55 pages of what exactly you need to know and why you need to invest in land. Why you need to go to AncestryLands.com and get yourself a property with no interest and no credit checks. You can get priced out of the housing market. You could pay hundreds and thousands of dollars on a house that needs to be renovated, rebuilt, and you could be on a loan for double what you paid, or you could start building some collateral, some leverage by owning a few properties from Ancestry Lands at AncestryLands.com. That's what you can do. You'll own 5 properties before you've even gotten to the halfway point of paying off all the interest on a mortgage that you have for 30 years on a 30-year fixed. You'd about to have 15 properties by that halfway point that you could sell for more than the down payment of what you would pay for in that house that you haven't even paid the principal of by year 15 of your 30-year mortgage. So I say to you, what are you going to do with this moment right now? What are you going to do? Are you going to sit here and click past this video? Are you going to say, hey, nah, you know what? Maybe another day. Maybe I don't have $1,000 down. Maybe I can't afford $250 a month. I've got to go buy those Jordan sneakers. I got more priorities. Or I only bought one land from Ancestry Lands. Now I'm good because I got one property right. Okay, good. Because one of anything is a good thing, right? Gotcha. You need leverage. You need action, not inaction. You stop fearing failure and fear the inaction because of that fear of failure. That's what I'm scared of. I'm scared of leaving something on the table and tomorrow's not promised. And I'm one of those people in that regretful cemetery full of people who had wishes and things like that with people who don't even go see them. I've driven past that cemetery many times, never seen a car. I'm talking about many times in my lifetime going down to Virginia to go see my grandmother, and I've never seen people visiting them at 24 hours a day. People come when they feel like it. People come when it's their schedule. All the things you wish you could do, all the fears and everything else, you can't take it with you, and nobody remembers what you're afraid of. The only thing they remember is you're in the ground. And heck, if the tombstone's gone, people won't remember where you were buried at. That's how bad it'll get. Let that whole place, let all the tombstone go. Unless somebody's paying for it, it's just going to be another body in the ground. They won't know you're there until they dig up or they need a space where you're at to bury somebody else who paid for a tombstone. How about that, apples? Like the girl said on Dr. Phil, how about that? So I say to you again, stop leaving something for tomorrow. You might live long enough to see the regret that you've left behind, because you won't have too many days. Tomorrow might always be the last day, so you'll have no choice but to look behind. When you're 90 years old, you'll have no choice but to look behind. And look, and what you're going to come to the forefront is all the things you did wrong, all the things you could have done better. That is, unless you're going to say, I've tried and failed, but I never failed to try. And I'm glad that I at least did it and failed, instead of I failed to do it and now I regret it. I went to AncestryLands.com and got property. I went on Amazon.com in the description section below and I bought the book, Getting Dollars from Dirt, A Beginner's Guide to Vacant Land Investing, written by yours truly. And I bought one for my family. I gave it as gifts for Christmas, because what I wanted to do more than a doll that they would throw away or a toy they would stop playing with it after a month or two is give them a book that they could read later on in life, because when they can read, the words are never going to change. They'll still be able to read it when they're 90, because I'm leaving them something that I could leave behind. Not debt, not Jordans, not a car that will be outdated and old that no one will value except people who value classic cars. I left them knowledge and something that could save a generation if it was in the right hands. Any which way, folks, that's all I have to say for today. Happy birthday again to my grandmother, Lois Blow. Happy 90th birthday. I love you very much. And thank you all for watching this video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment below. Comment happy birthday, Grandma, down in the comment section, all right? I am your host, Philip Davis. I hope you've been enlightened, educated, and at least of all, entertained. Remember, folks, you better own property or you'll be owned as property. Make sure you click the description section in the link below, AncestryLands.com, so you can go and find land so you will not be owned as property. Phil Davis, I'm your host. Thank you for watching, and I'm out. Peace.
Are you confused with today's real estate market? With high interest rates and overpriced housing, it can be hard to find something to own at the right price. Available on Amazon, Getting Dollars from Dirt by author Philip H. Davis is a game-changing book that invites you to embark on a thrilling exploration of this often overlooked asset class. This book is your roadmap to unlocking the secrets of vacant land investment. Inside these pages, you will uncover the transformative power of vacant land as a wealth-building tool. Discover how to spot promising properties, assess their true value, and capitalize on market trends. From understanding zoning and permits to leveraging financing strategies, you'll gain the knowledge and confidence to make savvy investment decisions. With each page you turn, you'll gain a deeper understanding of the profound impact your investments can have on the world around you. Getting Dollars from Dirt is not just a guidebook, it's a call to action. Whether you're a seasoned investor or a curious novice, this book will empower you to tap into the immense potential of vacant land and embark on a journey toward financial freedom and a brighter future.